Hi guys, I have a very special guest with me today, and I think we met through intuition. I would say it that way. We are both coaches, but we are doing slightly different things, I believe, because you are on the business side. You're doing business coaching, right? But what um, I felt it like your intuitive approach is something that connect us, how we approach working with people. And today I want to interview you about what you do, how you can help people, whom you can help, and how you combine your business approach, your corporate approach with your intuitive approach to help people. And I want to tell a few words about myself for those who don't know me. I'm working as the transformation coach. I have my Facebook group, and it's basically what I do. And I use the holistic approach in how I work with people. So it's at different levels of who we are as human beings. So, and I invite you just to explain us what you do, how you come to this business, what you are doing, what brought you there, and whom are you helping today?
That's a lot of questions in one. So my name is Lotfi Marat, for those who don't know me. Where do I start? Well, I've worked in the corporate world for around 25 years, doing many different things in different sectors, law enforcement, transport sector, telecom, recruitment, renewable energy. And I didn't get any degree. I just did secondary school, and then I just started working because I was done with school. And somehow I wanted to prove that you don't need a paper to show that you can be good at something. And the funniest thing is that in the end I ended up teaching a masterclass at a university without any degree. And that's just to prove that what you have inside you as qualities determines your success if you determine to actually go for it. And that's what my coaching is about. And you said I'm coaching entrepreneurs. I also do life coaching, and these two are very connected. Why? Because if you as an entrepreneur are not feeling good on the inside, it will reflect immediately on your business. Even if it's an online business, even if you have a lot of employees working for you, if you're not good on the inside, it will come out, it will reflect. So these two are always very connected. And I started coaching back in 2007, which was coaching from the mind, helping people to find a new job, because I myself was in a point that I didn't know what to do. And so I found a job coach, and I started working with her. And then I was like, hey, but what you're doing is really fun. Actually, I could do that with my experience. And so I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. And I started with that. And it was the beginning of the crisis, so it didn't work out financially, but I learned a lot in the process. So I went back into recruitment, and I kept coaching on the side. And then in 2014, I decided, okay, done with coaching on the side. I want to make this full time. So I started really focusing on that. So I had part-time job only, and the focus was the coaching. So learning a lot and practicing. And I had a great friend, still a great friend of mine, with whom I started the coaching on the intuitive side of things, because 2012 I had a big breakthrough, which allowed me to get back in touch with my intuition fully. Mm-hmm. And from there, my coaching changed. It became more energetic, became healing at first, but I stopped the healing part because I feel that I better guide you to heal yourself than me repairing you. Because if I fix you and you don't know how It's done. You cannot do it yourself. Plus, you need to do the work yourself to really transform something on the inside. Otherwise, it's like taking a paracetamol when you have pain somewhere, but you're only fighting the symptoms, not the source. And that's also my core thing. I always look at, go to the source of resolving something. And why am I working with entrepreneurs, you asked? Entrepreneurship has been within me, and people told me like 15, 20 years ago, oh, you should start your own business. But my example were these people who were spending 16 to 20 hours a day working and had no time for the rest. And I was like, I don't want that. So for me, being an entrepreneur was like, yeah, that's being a slave of your company, and I love to have my free time. But I was still miserable in the corporate world. So yeah, it was not really a solution what I did. But in the end, looking back now, I learned a lot during these years, and I took a big part of this experience into the coaching. And one of the things I learned, especially in the last job, actually I got the last job by saying that I'm lazy, and that because I'm lazy, I set up everything in the most efficient way possible. So even if I'm not in the mood to work or I have a holiday, the system will keep running. And the guy hired me for that. The HR manager was looking like, what is this? And I just looked at her like, none of your business. He's the manager. He's going to hire me or not. And he was like, yes, I fully understand you and I want you. And yeah, so I joined that last company part-time, and I set up a system the way I thought was the most efficient. And they're still running that system now, many years later. And this is also what I did already in other jobs, where I tried to change things in such a way that it becomes efficient. And it's not only the laziness. And when I say laziness, people think, but laziness is a bad thing. But laziness actually means, why invest a lot of energy and time in something that you can do much faster, much easier, and use your free and spare time for fun stuff or for being more productive. So in my coaching now and the program I just launched this month, I really combine the intuitiveness and the being your true self with the experience I built up through the corporate world, but also as an entrepreneur myself, when it comes to making your own website, doing your own marketing, recording videos. Ooh, scary, being on camera. I mean, my first videos, they were horrible, and I would re-record them like 5 to 10 times. I'm not exaggerating when I say up to 10 times. Because but this was wrong and that was wrong, and is my hair good, are my eyebrows straight? I mean, all these things that you're looking at, do I have like a little thing here? And that's a perfectionist in me. So if you combine laziness with perfectionism, then you get this thing like, okay, how are we going to do this? And in the end, now I spend much less time on my work, and actually I get much more done. So I slowed down a lot in the past year and a half. And by being slower in my things, I do less stuff, but the result is much better. And by slowing down, I mean, I take more time to go to the park. So I try to have a walk of at least 1 hour per day in the park, because I have 2 great parks nearby. I spend time talking with people. That's how I connect with people. That's how you and I connected, for example. Because it's easy for me to schedule, because I have a quite open schedule. So when somebody pops up, I feel, and then in the moment, like, it's yes or a no. And so I do it. But this is also how I take my decisions in general. They come from here, not from here anymore. Because when we're up here, what we do, we are up here, you have like a computer. And a computer, it makes calculations. And for that, it needs data. And data is the results from the past. So you're using your past to make a calculation for the future, which hasn't existed yet. And as we know now, everything is changing constantly and really fast. So this cannot determine what will be the best thing to do in the future. But here we'll feel actually what's the best next step to take, or like a direction to take, even if you don't know exactly all the steps. And a great example is Richard Branson from Virgin, and I love the guy. He says, if somebody comes with a great opportunity and he puts it in front of you, you have no idea how to do it, but you feel it's really a great thing, just say yes. And you'll figure out how to get it done. And that's why they call him Mr. Yes Man in the company, because if somebody pitches a good idea, he's like, yes, we're gonna do it. And everyone else like, but how? Figure out a way. I feel this is the right direction to go. And that's about intuition, feeling like, yeah, this is a good direction to go. And maybe the idea will change on the way, but it's about the direction. And that's what we feel generally. It's like when you meet somebody. When you're dating, it's not like, okay, I have a list and check, no, yes, yes. Okay, this person is complying with all these checkpoints, so this should be the ideal partner. Most of us, we fell in love. It was just like, boom. It was something we felt in here. And then we're looking like, yeah, but she doesn't have the right color of hair and she doesn't have the right height. But I really feel this thing. Yeah. So why is it with love that we allow it? And with everything else, no, we love to go inside here. And then we get tired and we have literally headache and then things don't go well. And then afterwards, like, I had this feeling, this voice told me not to do that thing, but yeah, everything in the book was saying I should be doing like this and that. And that's where it goes wrong with most entrepreneurs. So also when I teach things, I always say, okay, these are a few ways of doing something. Feel what works best for you. Try a few, and then you take from that what works for you, you fine-tune it, and if it works, that's fine. I don't need you to copy me. I don't need you to do exactly what I'm saying. Just do what works for you. And I see the results from my clients now and back in the days when I was telling them how to do it, or now I'm giving them the possibility to feel themselves.
Yeah.
Because in the end, we are all unique. And what works for me may not work for you at all. But you may get inspired by a direction. Let's say I would say meditate regularly, because that helps to calm down the mind, it helps to be sharp, to be more efficient. Then, yeah, meditating could be sitting in the lotus position and like, or put music or walk, but yeah, maybe you cannot sit. Maybe you have a back problem. You cannot sit straight in that way. Maybe you can only lay down, or you love to be in the park. So choose what works for you, as long as it helps to calm down this, to go more in here, and to be relaxed and to feel good. Because that's what meditation is really about. Calming down and feeling good. Even if first maybe some stuff comes up and you don't feel good about, but if you let it be and you allow it to flow and you can clean yourself, and we just talked before this interview about cleaning a lot, like we both ended up this weekend cleaning in our houses and stuff. It helps you relax and feel good. So feel what works for you and do it.
Yeah, it's amazing, this intuition thing, but I think people who have not working with intuition, right? Because we live most of the time in the mind, we are just, it's a scary thing to be in this space all the time. Because I think as kids, we are all born with this intuition, and we just do what makes us feel good, but then we lose this ability over time, because we are conditioned. We are told that you need to analyze things in life, right? You need to do it from your mind space. That's why for people it's especially when maybe you're working on your business, you have all these strategies, and we just, if something is not working, we just want to understand why this strategy is not working. We want to do more, to try more strategies, instead of, I believe, like, intuition is just this answer which exists already inside of you. All the answers exist there. It's just something that prevents us from hearing that, and working with your intuition is just removing this something, this part of you which prevents you hearing your intuition, right? And it can be our subconscious programs or as well parts of us which will hurt if we are talking. If we take the example of the business, we want to express ourselves, we want to move forward, but there is this scary thing inside of us which was maybe rejected and it's afraid to move forward. Intuition is saying, telling us something, but we just can't hear it because of this part of ours which is not healed yet. And it's about removing this part, and then it's just creating this moment of stillness. It's as easy as that, and relaxing. It's easy, but at the same time it's so difficult because it's so scary just to drop into your heart, into your body, and to start listening to your intuition. And intuition, it's not something that we know about already, right? Like how we can, what is intuition, how we can hear that. I think for some,
No, we don't.
yeah, but I mean, it's in a way like what is intuition? How are you meditating and you're hearing this? Okay, this is the idea. I need to go for it. And I think this idea is something which might scare you as well because it's not what you normally do. It can be in terms of like deep knowing inside, like, okay, this is what I need to do. But for some people, it can be in form of some signs or images as well. For different people, it works differently. So intuition speaks to them in different ways. But yeah, in what is required is just to remove this part of you which does not allow it to come into you and to create this moment of stillness. But it's a scary thing to do. And my question for you is how you start, because you told that you were working from the mind most of the time. Was it scary for you just to drop into this intuition space? And what did you do, or what you shifted inside of you to start trusting this voice inside of you?
Yeah, it's on one hand it will feel like cheating the game. On the other hand, it's what really happened. So in 2012, I had a breakthrough workshop where a blockage got lifted, which was an emotional blockage. At the age of 7, I was sexually assaulted,
Mhm.
and I always thought like, oh, not much happened because I pushed the guy away and I ran away, so I was safe, and heard all those stories. But during this workshop, it was asked me what happened at the age of 7, and I started thinking. The guy was, stop thinking. He said, have you been sexually assaulted? And I was like, I went back to the first image which I saw, which was that street where it happened. And then I realized like, oh, and then he put his hand on my shoulder. He said, you have been sexually assaulted. And then I just felt like a huge load dropping off me. And then I went through a lot of emotions. And that night I barely slept, but I really felt something in me awakening, like the lion in me awakened. So I had to get out at 12:30 at night into the park because we're living in a large apartment building, so I could not scream because I felt like I had to let a roar out, something like that. So I went into the park, and in the end, I let it out, and I felt relief. But my energy started to change, and from the next day, I started to actually notice things and just knowing, looking and knowing. It was the second day of the workshop, and so, and then the guy, who was very intuitive, was confirming, was asking me, "What do you see?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." He said, "Stop thinking, feel." And that's how it all started. And I would like, okay, stop thinking, and then something would come up.
Mhm.
And I had a great mentor back then, and he encouraged me to stop the thinking and to go in here. And for that, I would go regularly into the park already, and it's strengthened when, especially in the last winter, and the winters here in Romania can be cold, so the park was not really the best option. But for meditation, I would lay in a salt bath or in a bath with baking soda because you cannot always handle the salt. And I would do that for an hour or sometimes 2 hours. And that was my meditation. It was not like I would sit and like, okay, I'm not going to think about anything. It was just relax. And by relaxing, thoughts would come, I would let them go. And then some things would pop up like, okay, this is worth contemplating and looking at. And at a certain moment, I started taking my phone with me into the bathroom, put it in a seal bag, not to get wet, but with a voice recorder ready to record my ideas, because I was starting to get ideas and insights. And those I could develop into videos, into blog posts, into whatever, or into a workshop. So really listening to my intuition started by me allowing it to speak, because intuition is always speaking. But if the mind is like blah 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 all the way on top, you cannot hear that soft voice, which will get stronger, because now sometimes I wake up in the morning, do this. I'm like, okay, and then it's a huge success. I had a project playing for over a year about new age children, and I literally woke up in the morning and the first thought was, finish it now. And I hadn't finished it because I was missing information about the diamond children, because there was very little available. And I went online, I found that information, and I could finish a project of 9 web pages on my website. And I put it out there, and I got so much positive feedback from people who started thanking me because it helped them understand their children and this and understand themselves. And I was like, wow. And then I got another one like this, and also it was a success. And so basically what helps is to try to silence the mind by relaxing, doing something that really relaxes you, like very peaceful music or a peaceful walk, and not walking fast. Maybe you need to walk fast first to let all that adrenaline out of you, all that energy, and then you calm down and then you walk slowly, or you sit in the park and just observe your surroundings. And then things will pop up, things will come to you. And what I did at the beginning with my intuition, like, okay, how do I know if I should do it or not? I was like, okay, I'll sit like this. If it's yes, I will feel a vibration here. If it's no, I will feel a vibration here. So I would feel the vibration in one of the hands, like, but how do I know? Okay, I switch. It will be yes here and no there. And the sensation would switch. It would like, okay, so I was just playing and let my intuition talk through my body. And still sometimes if my mind is very active and I do not manage to calm it, I'm like, okay, let's do it the old-fashioned way. Yes, no. And then I switch and I'm, okay, so this was really a no. Okay, I'm not doing it. Or like, I should really do it. But generally the rule is if you hesitate, it's a no. But it's a hesitation you feel in your body. And we all have these experiences where we can feel in our body a contraction, like, and that's a very strong no. That's when the body gives you a very strong no. And what I also have is when I'm really relaxed, I can have this whole shock going through my body. It's my intuition saying, yes, do it. It's like a very like, yay. And then I know like this is a very strong yes. So it's really using your body by relaxing it to get the message. That's the easiest way. That's, let's say, the beginner's way, or when you have a lot of stress. And after, when was it, early 2005, I had come out of a burnout, my second burnout, and I had done a yoga meditation course. And I hated yoga because it was only painful stuff that we had to do, and the meditation was boring. But there was one meditation I liked. It was the 3-minute meditation. And this one I actually recorded. People can find it on my website under tips and tools, relaxation. The 3-minute is perfect because you can do it anywhere. Because there's always a bathroom around. You go in the bathroom and you just do some breathing exercise for just 3 minutes. And then you go back to whatever you are doing. But coming back, you will have an empty or less crowded mind. And you will have perfect overview immediately. Like, that is how I should do things. Like this, put this there and that there and that there. Boom. And that helps you actually to be more efficient. So that's also an easy way of starting by calming down the mind and letting your intuition guide you. Because when you come back with an empty mind, your intuition will say, look there. Oh, that, and then look there. This fits there. That's already how your intuition is working, but you may not be conscious it's your intuition. Because at first people ask me also, how do I know it's my intuition or my mind talking to me? That's something you will learn through practicing. I cannot tell you how that works. It's not like the high voice is this one and the low voice is that one. Because some people literally see images. I never see images. I never hear voices. Other people hear voices.
Yeah.
I just know.
Yeah.
So you need to find your own way of how your intuition is talking to you. And I'm sure there are other ways. Some people take a pencil and a piece of paper and they wait, and suddenly the hand starts moving. And then they draw something and they look at it and it makes all sense. Or they start writing and then, oh, wow. And it's not even their handwriting. It can be handwriting of somebody they're channeling. I mean, there are so many ways of expression. But I would recommend for those who have trouble meditating and sitting still for half an hour or an hour, which even for me is difficult, start with the 3 minutes. Start with a peaceful walk in the park or laying in the bathtub. If you enjoy a warm bath, relax in the bath. It's a perfect meditation. There is no one way of meditating. There is no perfect meditation for everyone. There's your own way, what works for you. But it all comes to calming down here, slowing down, and then slowly you will descend to here. And
Yeah.
intuition is like a mom. A mother always knows, and if there are mothers watching, you know when something is wrong with your child. Even if he's in another country, you know when something is wrong. That's intuition. You feel it in your body. And it doesn't work only for moms. It also works for men. It works for children. It works for old people. It works for everyone. You can feel when you have that feeling like this is something I really should not do, or like this is something I really want. And you know it's not from the mind because you feel it in your whole body like I really want. It's like falling in love. You feel it. That is when it's very strong. But the trick is also feel it when it is gentle.
Yeah, and it's what you mentioned. It's for different people, and it works differently. And I think especially in the beginning, when you just start working with your intuition, it will be not loud, and it will never be loud because how I experience it's loud voices is more which coming from my head, and more subtle voices it's which coming from my intuition, but it's more even at the body level, this knowing it feels good inside of the body, okay, and do that. But I think especially in the very beginning, it will be very, very subtle voice because for many years, we didn't allow this intuition to guide us because we were living from the mind space all the time. But if you just allow it to speak, if you give it space to speak, if you acknowledge it, you can, I don't know, maybe even set the intention. Okay, now I want to live from this heart space. I want to listen to intuition. You acknowledge it, you give the space for it, then the next time it will speak louder and louder for you because it's kind of you give space for that to speak for your intuition. I believe this is very important. And you need to practice. It's like a muscle, right? And sometimes you might take an action and it will not be coming from the intuition, but from your mind. And it's absolutely okay. With the time, you will know how to differentiate between mind and intuition. And I think it's very true what you told. We can't say you how to differentiate these voices because you need to develop these muscles and you will have this knowing yourself, which just can you give the ideas of how to make the difference, right, through our own experience. And I think like working from intuition in the business, it's it gives so much um, like your days become so much lighter if you really have the courage to take the inspired action instead of following your to-do lists. And I know for myself in the beginning it was very challenging because I would receive some ideas, but I'm like, but I have this list and I need to do this now. And you start having this conflict between what your mind is telling to you and what you feel inside. And it takes some courage to do that. because your mind will get loud with all what you have to do at that moment. But when you start to go into this space where you take your actions, which are coming from a different space, then, I mean, it lights you up so much, your day so much. It feels much more like in alignment with what you want to create, with who you are.
Yeah, that's the key word, in alignment. Because the funny thing is, we can make these huge to-do lists, but when you, like I said, I slow down, so I do less, but I do what I feel. And by doing that, I will always end up having done what I need to do when it needs to be ready. Even if my mind is like, yeah, but this and that and that and that, I'm like, no, I feel. And then I'm always ready in time, or the thing gets cancelled anyway, so that's why I was not meant to invest time on it.
Yeah.
So it always makes sense in the end. And it's the same, it's the trust that we need. We need to trust that when we listen to it, things will be right. It's the same with money. A lot of people are like, yeah, but I need to do this, and I will that. Yeah, just trust that you will have enough. And people always say, yeah, but I want abundance. Well, do you know what the official the definition of abundance is? Having what you need when you need it. End of definition. Not having a million. No, having what you need when you need it. And trusting your intuition will make sure that you do what you need to do when you need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is extra or a waste of time and energy. And this means that you will have your clients coming in on the right moment, payments coming in on the right moment, seeing the right thing that will inspire you for what you need to write or make a video about. And yes, you can prepare things and have a backup list, but in the end, once you're in tune with your intuition, once that idea comes and you do it in that moment, it will be successful. Because I wrote most of the new age stuff over a year ago, but when a month or two ago I felt like, now do it, it was the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people saw it, and I got so much positive feedback. And that's also the moment when the number of likes and visibilities and shares on my post started to go up, because I really went in tune with what I'm feeling. Before that, I was doing still a lot from here, or I would feel it, but then I would postpone or be the perfectionist, like, oh no, but I need to fine tune this, need to fine tune that, and this is not perfect yet. And that's also why a lot of people don't have the balls to go live, because they cannot edit, they cannot fine tune, they cannot cut and go sneeze, clean the nose, and then come back, or whatever corrections they want to do. No, going live is raw, like us now. Whatever pops up is the right thing that we need to discuss today. Because I thought of what would I like to say today and what would I talk about. But in the end, we're talking a lot about intuition, and that was not number one on my list. What I thought of, but it's the number one thing that we need to be discussing now, because apparently those people who are watching now and will be watching the replay need to hear this exact thing. And all the rest will come after that, because without intuition, there is no alignment, like you said, with who you are and what you came to do in this life. And there will be no real success. There will be partial success, but your true success comes when you're really in alignment.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that I can see throughout all my career. When I was in alignment, things were going well. When I was not, downhill. And you probably have similar experiences, because you also have been in the corporate world, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, totally. But yeah, in alignment, it's the most important thing, maybe. Not maybe, but it does. It is. But as well, I love what you mentioned about the trust. I think it's one of the biggest problems for the people, because when we see that these things are not going in our life, in our business, relationships, what we want, what is our response? We're like, oh, okay, I need to take more actions. I need to do more because I don't feel this trust and I need to pay my bills at the end of the month. And this is what moves us away once again from the intuition, because then we are in the head and we need to do more, more, more. And I mean, there are different approaches to living life, and taking massive actions and doing from the head, it does work as well, right? But the thing is, well, but what I want to do, but the thing is, it makes you exhausting and
Oh yeah.
stressed in your life, and it not bring you the same result as you're working from the intuition space, because maybe instead of taking and doing 10 things from your list, you need to do two of them which are coming from a different place, which are your inspired actions. You just live in a completely different quality of your life and doing business when it's coming from a different space.
Yes, the funny thing is, to add to this, is that most of us, we work with people, so our clients are people.
Mm-hmm.
And with what kind of person would you prefer to work, to do business with? A stressed person or a relaxed person?
Of course, relax.
Because the
Yeah.
relaxed one is the one who's in aligned, who's
Yeah.
trusting. And the stressed one is the one like, oh, but I need to think of that, and that maybe go wrong, so I need to prepare for that. I need to do that. I mean, already when you hear my voice, you're like, oh no, please stop this, because like it's all up here. And the same when you enter a store, when you have somebody who's relaxed and friendly and smiling, you're more likely to buy in that store. And when the person is stressed and all the way in here, you're like, okay, I'll think about it. Bye. And then you find another store where there's a nice person and you'll buy, and that will be just like a few minutes later. But it's just because of that person, how you feel, of the
Mm.
atmosphere. And you can see that even when the person is relaxed, the room changes where the person is.
Yeah.
And you sometimes see that when certain people enter a room, everything changes because these people bring a certain energy. So either the energy goes up or goes down. If it's a very stressed person with a lot of dark energy, it becomes heavy. But when it's a very happy, relaxed person, you see the energy going up. And that comes from trust. When you trust, you're more relaxed, you lay back. And that's also why you see I'm sitting relaxed now. I'm laid back in my chair. I'm not sitting like, okay, I need to be very serious and be very focused. No, relax. And
Mm.
that's also how I work with my clients and have these comfortable IKEA chairs, those flexible ones. Everyone knows them, these armchairs. And these make you actually relax. So I often sit back. And some clients have been like, okay, you look very relaxed. But they will follow me. So they go in the relaxed mode as well. And then they slowly go from here down here, and the conversation changes. And then they get their aha moments, they get their insights. And it's all about relaxing. And for those working in the corporate world and doing recruitment, I used to do that in recruitment as well. And I had a supervisor who was mad at me for being so relaxed and taking off my tie and opening two buttons and just be relaxed there. And I was like, yeah, but what do I want? Do I want to know who I really have in front of me? And if he will fit in that job? Or do I want to look Mr. Perfect because I'm from this perfect company and have that person stressed and completely shut down and only answering from here and giving me the desired answers, not the true answers? So there was a conflict I had with the supervisor. My manager agreed, but she was all the way here because she was insecure. But the result of me being relaxed was people were really telling me what they needed, and sometimes they would come for a job which was positioned here, and I would say like, hey, wait, I have another job for you which is positioned here, which you would fit in much better. And they hadn't thought about it, or they hadn't seen it, or I was like, yeah, but you told me you did this, and you told me you're doing that on the side, which is not in your CV. But because they were relaxed, they were sharing a lot. I would get a full picture, and I would place people or at least advise them to look at another position, and they would be very happy. And I would often forget about that. And like a year later, people, hey, yeah, thank you very much. You have it. I was like, who are you again? Yeah, you did. I'm like, so I remember something vaguely, but they would tell me the story. I'm like, oh yeah. And that was by being relaxed. You allow others to be relaxed too, and you create this atmosphere and this safe space. And that is also what creates trust. So you can create the trust for yourself. You say, okay, how do I trust my intuition? Let's start by being relaxed. Let's start by create a relaxed atmosphere around me, including the people I'm with. And to take another business example, the Germans are known for being very strict, but that's why you have the high German quality. That's what they're known for. But the Spanish, and that's funny if you have a German going to Spain to do business, and I met a German who was complaining to me after the fair, and he was like, yeah, the Spanish, they only want to go to restaurants. But I came with a proposal to sit in the office and discuss it. They only wanted to go out to a restaurant. I was like, okay, tell me, do you enjoy good food? Yes. Spanish food? Yes. Do you enjoy nice drinks? Yes. And you enjoy doing business? Yes. Why not combine them? So what the Spanish do, they take you out. You may come to their office, but they immediately take you out for lunch or for dinner because you will be more relaxed. So you will start to show who you truly are. So you build rapport. You build a relationship. So they know if they can trust you or not. And once they trust you, the business thing becomes like a formality. Like, okay, here's a few things to fine tune. But the most important thing, I trust you. It's like you wouldn't do an interview with somebody you don't trust. You need first to trust somebody, and then you're like, okay, I want to have this person on a live. And I see that the more you go to the south, people are more like, okay, let's create a peaceful atmosphere. When we go to the north, people are like, okay, let's structure things. And south, north. You see? So
Yeah.
people at the north are more in here, people at the south are more in here. That's why kids in Africa, in the poor countries, they have almost nothing, but they're happy. Even the adults, they can be happy and laughing. Well, they have almost nothing because they don't worry about what if. Like the more we go to the north, we are in here, and yeah, but we need to think of that, and we have 1,000 different kind of insurances insuring us for all kinds of things that may happen once in a lifetime out of fear. And that's being in here and not being in here.
Yeah.
So how to get more trust? Create peace around yourself.
But you're creating programs for people to help develop their business, right? So I want to go to a little bit to this direction as well. And so if a client is coming to you, so you're offering them business strategies, right? How to move forward their business. But how you combine this business, so how you give them this strategy with intuitive approach? What are you saying them? So how to proceed with your programs?
If you're talking about the program, and I will put in the comments a link to it. It's called Practical Tools for Entrepreneurship. But it's not only practical tools, because the practical tools is the practical part, but also have fundamental rules of entrepreneurship, which are 15 rules. I mean, today I have a list of 15 rules, but there may be more or less later on. And these are the soft skills. So first of all, before I record the soft skills, I just take a moment to feel. And the first one is called Have Fun. That's the first video. And so I don't think like, what will I say? I just feel, and what comes to me is some memories of how having fun resulted in great business opportunities or in actually closing deals. And after feeling for a moment, I just go in front of the camera and I just start. And just stuff starts to come out. And often I don't watch back the full video. I just feel like this felt good. So I put it out there, and that's how I record most of my videos. I just feel it, unless I had to sneeze or so. I'm like, okay, I already had to cough a lot during the winter, for example. Then I know, like, okay, I need to go back because I want to cut out the coughing because that's unnecessary. But for the rest, it's just something I feel. If I feel good, then it means it's good. And when I have had a good feeling about something, then also my clients give me positive feedback afterwards. So this came through experience. And the having fun, a beautiful example of that is, so I use a lot of examples when I teach, is that when I was in the renewable energy business, we had just created a brand new company for wind turbine maintenance, and it started in Spain. And I was located in Holland, in Amersfoort.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to go and be on a fair there to represent ourselves. And then I get this call from a guy who I never heard of, who was working at a brand new magazine. But with this guy, I had this connection like this. It was just instant. We connected very easily. And it was the first time that they would be with their magazine on the fair, and their magazine would be in every bag that the people get at the entrance and on every stand. So everyone who would be there would see that magazine at least once, but probably a few times. And he put us on the front page
Mm-hmm.
with our advertisement. And we paid very small amount for it, but it was also their first time, was our first time, so it was okay. And then I met with this guy there, and we laughed a lot. We didn't talk any business when we were there. We just laughed, walked around, joked, made fun with other people, and I built a relationship which was like this. Result was that for the next 2 years, on the big European wind fairs, we were front page, paying a small amount of money, relatively, let's say 6,000 euros for the whole year. And the big companies who had billions and wanted literally to spend 1 million or more to be front page were not, because we had the deal and we had a good relationship. So he was always calling me at the end of the year, like, what are we going to do for next year? And we would negotiate the deal, and that was it. And the other companies would come after, yeah, but I'm the biggest in the industry. I need to be front page. And we were one of the smallest companies, but we were always front page. Why? Because we had a good relationship. And I was talking with this guy once a week, once in 2 weeks on the phone. And people were telling me, you're always talking on the phone. You're always laughing, making jokes. You're never working. I was like, I'm saving us thousands and thousands of euros by having a good relationship with this guy.
Yeah.
And that's about relationships. And on this first fair, I also built relationships with other companies who became our business partners, who were supplying services that were complementary to our service, simply by getting to know the people. Yes, knowing what they were doing, but the focus was on the relationships. And that's how there was trust. And trust means I know that what you're delivering is good, but also know if there is a difficult moment where things are not going as planned, I know I can trust you that you will fix it, or come to me and we will fix it together. And that is trust. And this is how I give, through these examples, I help people to get to the trust part. And that comes from inside. That's intuitive. Or when it comes to marketing, or to any other thing, when it comes to conducting business, to negotiating, to selling, I always start from the inside. I always start by feeling. So that's where intuition plays a role. And also take the people to feel like, how would you feel about this? Or what's the first thing that comes to mind? Often when I put a question, the first thing that comes to mind is that little voice from intuition. And then your mind starts, okay, we have this and we have that. So that means, and the mind starts calculating out loud. But that first thing, that first image, that first sound, that first smell, the first taste that comes to mind, that is your intuition talking. So that's a bridge back to how do you know it's your intuition? It's often that first thing that comes. So also very intuitively, I feel which video I will record now. I have a few bullet points I want to discuss. Yeah, this one. I feel really like this one, and I do it. Or my eye gets caught intuitively by a quote or by a post of someone, and then that puts things to work in me. It triggers something, or it gives me an idea, and then I just record. So most of my videos that you have been seeing online are all about something I saw, something I read, and it was a sign like, okay, you need to share something about this. And in the course, I help people to do this as well. And even on the practical side, where I help people to how to record a video, how to edit it, how to make your visuals, which is very important. A lot of people just make visuals and they look crappy. And I use free tools only and simple tools, but people recognize they're my visuals. And that's by doing it through a certain structure that I intuitively felt this is how it should be for me. I look at others, what they're doing. Yeah, I got inspired, but I didn't feel to copy. And that is what I help people do. And also through practicing, repeat, do again, try again, start with a clean sheet, feel, and start. And then slowly you will train your intuition on coming up. And your intuition will also tell you, like, don't do business with that person. That's gonna give me headache. Yeah, but I need the money. Yeah, but that headache is gonna be so big, it's gonna cost you so much time, it will cost you money in the end. Because you will get exhausted, or you spend so much time on it, or you will have to redo things so many times because that person will only, yeah, but I want cheaper and stuff. So I always say also, don't talk about cheap. And I got a request from somebody and was like, yeah, we're doing this. And then we go a little bit under market price. And I was like, okay, wrong. Never go under market price. You can give a discount, maybe, but don't go under market price. Because it means you're competing on price, which is you're not competing on quality and not on who you are. Are you cheap? Because then you will only get, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, they say. So if you're cheap, you will attract people who want cheap, but they want actually a Mercedes for little money. And you cannot get that. So by being calm and relaxed, you will not be thinking about how will I make enough money. You will just, how will I deliver something wonderful, good quality, something beautiful, something people will love. And then you start to work from the love energy and not from the fear-based energy. So when you have these people who come on your path and you just love them, you just feel like, ah, wonderful person, then you will be automatically in a different energy. You will transmit that energy, so people around you will start to feel better, and you will deliver beautiful quality. You can see that when people are speaking, you can see the energy. You can see like, oh, they're having a bad day or a good day. If you're having a good day, you're more likely to keep listening and to watch the whole thing, and like, because you start to feel good. It's not a decision you make here, but you feel good, so you stay with it. If a song sounds nice, you turn up the volume and you listen to it again, or you listen to another song from this artist because it felt good. And that's what I try to help people to realize, to discover what makes me feel really good. So even with the practical tools, I show things like this is how you can do it. But in the end, you need to find your own best way of doing it.
Yeah. And I love like what you mentioned about mind kicks in. So this idea, which is coming from intuition, I think you have this time 3 seconds. Then mind kicks in with all these excuses why you should not do, with all the fears and doubts. And yeah, and then we go back to the mind space. And I believe people as well are sometimes afraid of following the intuition, is because we want to have the full picture of how what intuition is saying to me today, how it will bring me to where I want to be. But we need to remember that intuition is only about the present, and it's about this next step. It's not about the whole picture. And you don't need to know how it will bring you where you want to be. You just need to trust what is guiding you towards in this particular moment. And I think it might be challenging for some people in the beginning who could get used to live in the mind space and calculating lots of steps ahead. And at the end, it's just about the practice. And yeah, like how you connect with people. And if something is saying you don't do it, but you still do it, just be okay with that. Accept. I mean, this is how you learn. Next time you will you will start listening to what your inner
It's
guide.
learning the hard way.
Yeah. Well, I think we have been going for about an hour already. It went fast. But do you want to add something about your approach and intuition in general?
Yeah, something crossed my mind when you were talking. um, yeah, what intuition does, it tells you what the next step is that you should take. So it can give you the long-term vision, and then just only one next step. The fear-based mind wants to have security and know all the steps.
Hmm.
And that's why I said you need to trust intuition, because it will always give you that next step. And then you go again inside, okay, what's next? And then slowly you will not need to go inside anymore. We'll just tell you, like, okay, now we do this. And that's when things go smoothly. Basically, you start doing different things one after the other. And that's actually intuition pushing you to do this and then do that and then do that and then do that. And it looks like you're going like this. But then suddenly you arrive perfectly in time with a perfect product for whatever you need in that moment, or for that person, or you thought you were preparing it for that person, but that person disappeared, but then another person appears there and says, "Oh, this is exactly what I need, thank you." And that is what intuition does. So we used to plan everything ahead, and you see these people talking about when you record a video, you script it, you do this, you do that. Do you know how difficult it is to stick to a script? And
I
if you
know.
don't have an auto cue and the right software on your tablet to mirror it, and then it goes too fast or too slow, or you cannot read it, or it's all headache. Yes, maybe you put an A4 with a few bullet points. That's fine. Like, okay, I want to have covered these few bullet points. Yeah, I have on my screen two things like slow down, arrow, more productivity, and efficiency. It says freeing time, more fun, less stress. So these were the bullet points. I was like, okay, these are key. These are things that came up to me like half an hour before this interview, and I was like, okay, these I write down. These are so. These are just the basics. These are the fundamental things.
Hmm.
And when you start from here, the rest will come by itself.
Yeah.
But we're so trained to be worried, and this is also how society is built, because it's how the economy has been running. The economy we live in has been fear-based. Insure yourself for this, that. I mean, countries like Holland, you have insurances for so many things that other countries have never heard of. If you go to the US, it's even more. It's all about insuring even the insurance.
Yes.
I mean, you take an insurance for something, and yeah, but we need to also make an insurance on this insurance in case this happens, or maybe that may happen. And seriously, all those things. And I know when you build an airplane, I love aviation, they have redundancies. But of course, because if you're up in the air, you don't want to crash because one thing broke. You need to have backup and a backup for the backup. But in real life, in the normal daily life that you and I are living, and that most of us are living, we don't need to be prepared for everything, because we cannot think of everything. Our brain can literally not think of all the possibilities that can happen, that can go wrong. So the easiest way is just to relax. So I'm coming back to the relax. And then you will know what to do, and you go with that flow, and it will be fun, and you'll be more peaceful, you will have more energy. So when you're relaxed after a day of work, I don't feel exhausted unless I was doing something I had to use this for.
Yeah.
And when I look at the 3 jobs I had where I was not doing things I hated, but I was doing what I love to do, and I was doing it from here, I would go home full of energy
Yes.
instead of going home exhausted.
Yeah, it's for when you're in this space, it makes you much more exhausted than when you're doing it from a completely different intuitive space. It's like it's a very different energy, and that's why you have the energy. You don't drain your energy when you are in the mind.
Yes,
And
so I can do 8 hours of one-on-one coaching with different people, and I will not be exhausted afterwards. And I hear other people, I don't know, I cannot do so much. I need a break. Yes, you need a short break because you need to reset.
mm-hmm.
But I discovered I can do so much more because I'm not consuming energy. Actually, after a nice session, I'm full of energy.
Yeah,
So working gives energy if you're doing it from here because you're expressing your gift.
because you're in alignment with who you are and with your gifts, what you want to give to the world, and it feels very differently. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the course, I'm also focusing on discovering what gives you energy, what's consuming energy, and then how to transform that. Because certain things we can transform, other things we need to find other solutions for. And I will not give the solutions here now. For that, people can go to the course, and it's a 6-month course because it's about practicing. So every week, one new subject or a partially new subject, but then you need to practice because we need to embody it. We need to get used to it. It's not something you're going to do from one moment to another. Like, okay, from now I'm intuitive. Because even if you have a breakthrough, like what I had, blockage lifted, you need to practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people think. Yeah, but give me that magic pill. Yeah, even if I give you the magic pill, I will let you taste what it is. But then after that, you need to practice. And the fun thing is, after the breakthrough workshop, I saw a lot of people because I was in one myself, and then I helped the guy, assisting him in another one. And in that one, there were 30 people. So in total, I've seen around 42 people being in a breakthrough, having literally a breakthrough, experiencing it. And then I saw the results afterwards because I stayed in touch with most of them for a while. And I saw a lot of people went back to the old. Why? Because they didn't practice and they didn't have somebody to lean on. I was lucky I had a good mentor who was already there. So I could go and like, hey, Harv, his name was Harvey. Harv, how do I deal with this thing? What should I do now? And then often he would tell me, go inside and feel. Or he would ask me questions which would lead to me going inside and feeling. And that's how I was practicing and practicing. That's how my life started to change. So
Mm-hmm.
practice is key.
Yeah.
So for those watching, you want to listen to your intuition, give it time to speak up. It's like having a new employee who's very shy. What do you do with a new colleague or employee? You make him feel safe and he will start to open up. And after some time, he will be like just saying what he feels or what pops up. And just, but at the beginning, we're like, maybe raising a finger, like, I have something I would like to share. It's the same for your intuition. Allow it to be there, give it space, and practice. It's like the marathon. You cannot start running the marathon tomorrow. You need to start training for it slowly and then building up. And slowly you will discover, like, hey, it feels actually good. Oh, it's fun. I can do more. That's how it works with anything in life. It's about practice. So there is no magic pill. There is no magic thing that you can do like this. Even a breakthrough needs practice afterwards. So when I started organizing my own breakthrough workshops, I planned immediately and I included in the price. I come back a few weeks later
Mm-hmm.
for people to see where do you stand, what's going well, and where do you maybe need help and support from me or from somebody else. But this is crucial. So whatever you learn new, plan for yourself a moment of looking back at, okay, how did I integrate this? And can I do more or do I need more? So also for all the coaches watching, make sure you have this moment, or you have this moment after finishing a package with a client, to call them, to check how are things going in real life when you're alone, when I'm not there to hold your hand. And that may generate you more business because they will say, actually, I need some help from you. But it will actually generate more business because they will be feeling better. They will have better results because of a follow-up that you already planned from the start that you maybe included. Like you could do 5 sessions with the time between the session 4 and 5 is like 1 month. So you have time to practice. I literally sometimes say to my clients, I don't want to see you for a few weeks. Go out there, do your thing. We'll see each other in 4 to 5 weeks. And with that, you get better results, meaning they will be happier. They will start promoting you. Tell a friend like, hey, you should go to that coach because look at me. Or they will come like, wow, you transformed, you changed. Yeah, I got some good advice. And actually, he helped me or she helped me in such a way. This time it worked because I tried so many times, things didn't work. But now it really worked. I don't know why exactly. Yeah, why? Because there was follow-up, because there was really tuning in on the person. What does this person need? How much time this person needs to practice, to do his thing. And with this fine-tuning to what the people need, and also do this in my program, I listen to the people, they give me feedback, and they say what they need, and I fine-tune so that they get the best results. And from there, people will start to recommend and say, hey, but that you should work with that one because he actually understands you. It's not that I understand better, I listen to what you need.
Yeah, because I think it's the most important skills for the coaches, just to listen and to build this trustful relationship with your clients. And the most important thing, they feel like you care about. It's not like you're only on the session, you're with them, but you're after and you care about their results.
Like what you did today.
Sorry?
Earlier today, that just coaching session live with a guy.
Yeah.
You were listening to him, letting him really express himself, and then you would react to what he shared or what he didn't say, but what you read between the lines.
Yes.
And that's how this guy can actually move forward, or will come back to you like, hey, you helped me so well that time. I want more. And other people come also like, oh, wow, we saw the transformation during that 1 hour that we saw the change. So yes, she can actually make the difference for me. She can help me make that step. So you, for example, you are doing this already.
Yeah, because I think like listening is a very great skill, because first of all, sometimes the person just needs to be listened to, and he needs to feel important. It's already transformative for the person. Yes, he feels safe and he feels important, because what we normally do when we are listening, we just want to respond, we want to add. And recently I was hearing a very interesting talk done by Simon Sinek, I think it was, and he was talking like leadership is not about coming into the room and speaking first. It's about listening to everybody in the room, because you know their perspective on life, why they think this way, and then you can tell something, because you make other people important. And this is about leadership. It's when you can listen, make people important, and only then you can tell something in order to help them. And I liked what you mentioned, that there is no this secret pill. Yeah, I think in today's world, people want this secret pill. They want to make it fast. But in this work, like transformation or building your business, whatever it is, learning to listen to your intuition, there is no 5 steps approach. You can't do it fast. You need to master this skill like anything in your life. And it takes something. It takes a process. It takes going. It takes making mistakes maybe sometimes. And this is fine as well.
But it gets faster. It gets faster. So don't, just for those who think, oh, so it's going to be a very long, no. It's like a parabolic graphic. So it goes slow, and then it starts to accelerate. So at the beginning, it's practice. But once you really get it part of you, then things will start to go faster. So like seeing why a bad thing is happening to you, if you're really opening to see the why, it may take months, then weeks, then days. Now for me personally, sometimes it's minutes before I can see why something didn't work out or why something went horribly wrong, because I'm open to it, because I practiced in connecting with myself to really feel. So the more you practice, you better you get at it, the faster it goes. So the start is slow, but it will go fast. And then it will go so fast that you don't have time to look back. You just keep going. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid it will be only a slow process. It starts slow, but eventually it will speed up. But you need to have the patience to allow the slowness so that it can really anchor. It's like a plant. It takes time for a seed to sprout, but at a certain moment, you will see it grow every day.
Mm.
This is the same for us as people. But we need that patience. And then the speed will come, but not the instant pill.
No, it's the instant pill, and I mean, you need to go through this patient process, because what we tend to do is like we try it, and then it seems like it doesn't work for me, and you're like, okay, I'm out of here. It doesn't work for me. So this is what I was talking about. Like this, you need the patience to develop this muscle as you're doing it in the gym, right? You need to allow this time for that. So maybe we can wrap up here. And I
Yes.
just want to ask you as well. We will leave the link for your program in the comments. But can you tell as well where people can find you, how they can connect with you?
Yes, they can find me on intuitiv.me, and intuitive without E. So it's spelled the Romanian way, but also the way you pronounce it actually. And there's also intuitiv.me group, Facebook group, in which I post more than on my profile. I don't really use a page because Facebook, and this is a free thing that I also teach him in the course. Facebook on the pages wants you to spend money, but in the groups, still when you post something in the group, people get a notification. So it's much more efficient for you entrepreneurs or whatever you're sharing with the people. If you have them in a group, you actually are more visible. So intuitiv.me is the website and the group. And it's because I'm intuitive. That's how I came up with the name. And then the logo, I even have a full video about the logo, how you design it. But in short, I just wrote it and then I just felt it. And I had the colors represent the gray is business and the orange is the life energy. And that was before I realized that orange is actually also the color of the sexual chakra, the sacral chakra, which also holds the creative energy and the life energy. So I also decided to put on my orange t-shirt.
Okay.
For the occasion.
Your sexual energy for creating something.
Yes, I'm very creative now. I'm fully in the creative energy. But all of us, we have these colors that resonate with us. So when you create something, always feel what you really like and work from there. And that's also how I work. So you will see a lot of orange because I love orange. It resonates with me. And it's, yeah, I want to say the sexual energy. On the life coaching part, I'm also working a lot on, it's not really on my website yet because it's new, on healing the wounds related to sexual trauma. And I didn't know this was coming, but it's also connected to the orange color. And on the hashtag #MeToo page that I have on my website, you will also see the orange coming back. And I will not say more about this, but you will see when you look there, it will all make sense. Because when I created it, I did not realize what I was actually designing, but also the sexual chakra, and it all makes sense. But this was also because I was simply doing it from intuition. So it turned out to be the right thing. So there's another thing. Please, people, use your intuition because it makes things go in the perfect direction, always. Even if it doesn't make sense. In the end, a year from now, 10 years from now, you look back like, it was the right thing that I did back then. I thought it was wrong, but now it's perfect. So yeah, this is my closure thing. Just trust you will be happy in the end.
Yeah. So orange color is not coming from your influence of living in Holland because it's
No.
orange. It's about connecting to your.
But this is why I realize now I loved King's Day or Queen's Day before because everyone is wearing orange, but it was that energy that I was feeling, but not knowing what it was really about. And now I recognize that the color of orange has to do with the sacral chakra, where a lot of my creativity and my work and my energy is coming from. And that's why I used to enjoy these things and would take a lot of pictures. And still, when I look at those pictures, although I left Holland and I haven't experienced such a day for 5 years now, I still feel the joy, but it's because of that color.
Okay.
So look at which colors resonate with you and use those, because they will make you feel good. And when you feel good, you radiate the good energy and you will attract good people.
Yeah. So thank you very much for being here and for sharing your intuitive skills. It was a very big pleasure to have you on this interview. And and thank you everybody who was listening to this and who will listen the recording of that. And we wish you tune into your intuition and live life from a different place, because it's absolutely worth it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
And have a beautiful evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.